At one point in time, I'm fairly certain the core charge on these controllers was like $400.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's out there. So I've got several of them.
On today's episode of MTGA, Andy admits that he doesn't know how to make money.
I'm a hoarder.
Everybody, welcome to the Make Trades Great Again podcast. I got to say that. I feel like I've said it every single time we've ever recorded.
We might
Andy,
as well.
It's springtime. I am kind of on this little bit of a high right now, and it's not gummies related. It's I got my shop cleaned up last week, and it feels good. It feels good.
Walk in, everything's organized, and like things are put away.
I even like swept and washed the floor where get the old salt and mud from the winter off the floor, and
that's nice.
Good.
It's a good feeling.
It is nice, and you know how it gets the way it gets. Like your shop's no different. I mean, first of all, we're working with. We wish we had more space, but if we had more space, we'd just fill more stuff.
Yep.
And the fact that it's one job after another, boom, dump and run. I'm doing 2 boilers a week. It's winter time. I'm looking backwards right now in time.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't take the time. You don't stop and clean out the box on the van. You just throw it on the floor and you grab another box and you fill it with more crap. Right?
Yeah.
That was delivered from your supplier.
Yeah. Yep. There's a supply house box or a Gooden box sitting there that's got like 2 2-inch strut clamps and a couple of 3/8 strut nuts and like 6 90s.
Garbage. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And then some ball valve wrappers.
Yeah, exactly. The tags off ball valves.
Yeah.
Why do they got to put tags on ball valves? I know.
Dumb.
Whatever.
You just tear them off.
So cleaned
It's probably
up.
illegal.
It's probably illegal if they don't. It's like the mattress tag. That's what I should do. I should just stop taking the tag off. People will be like, why do you leave these tags on here? We're like, well, it's like the mattress. I have to. You have to take it off. Okay. So shop is clean. I'm feeling good. First time in a long time. Weather's nice here. I've been having the doors open. Man, it just feels good.
Yep.
And it got me thinking, where you at on the shop? I'm going to be to your place real soon. I'm going to come out. We're making a trip. And it got me thinking, like, how's it going for you right now? Are you getting cleaned up from the winter time? Because I know you had the same problem I do.
Ebb and flow. That's really the direction. My shop is improved from where it's at in the winter. Yeah. You mentioned it, and one of the things that I find is helpful, is to just spend, if you can figure it out, end of the day, and go, hey, I'm going to spend 15 minutes.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to take stuff off the van, off the truck.
Yeah.
Right. I don't need this on the van or on the truck. It's coming off. It's going to go in the shop. Instead of being like, hey, I got to unload this and load stuff for tomorrow, because that's usually what I'll do. Truck. I pull into the shop in the evening, and I take off what I don't need tomorrow, or stuff that I pipe machine, or maybe it's some Tri-Vice or something like that I'm absolutely not gonna need.
Yeah.
And I'll load maybe what parts I think that I could give to Miles, Tristan, or Rob that might be in the shop. Right. So if there's material here, I'll grab that, load it on the van so it's ready to go in the morning.
So you're not going to buy more of it when you already have it, kind of deal.
Yeah. We've been working really hard to get rid of as much inventory as possible out of the shop. I don't want any. I mean, my end goal, there's nothing here. Right.
Not even your, pipe, stuff like that.
Just down to bare minimum. That would be awesome. Because we're a contractor. I'm not a wholesale house, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Is that ever going to happen? No. There's always going to be a box.
You got to have certain things, in my opinion.
Yep.
Depending on how you want to buy stuff, right?
Right. So anyway, we've got, you always end up with these partial boxes. We were just talking about it, In those little boxes, they take 5 minutes to put away. right?
Yeah.
You grab that box and you're like, all right, here, I'm going to jump in the van and I'm going to put these couple of press fittings away that, I didn't use at that last job. And I was, kind of in a hurry to get out of there and get on to the next one. And so throughout the day, you end up with, maybe a box or two on the van that's just got some random parts that they just flat need to be put away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the killers.
You know what works for me? So I have all my like copper fittings, PEX fittings, black iron. They're all in pack out organizers.
Yeah.
And electrical, same thing. So what I'll do, what I did the other day when I was cleaning out the shop and I was trying to put those boxes away, that pile that kept getting bigger, I spent more time walking around that pile in the last 3 months than if I were just to take the 5 minutes a box to put the stuff away. That's probably an accurate statement, to be honest with you.
I bet it is.
But what I've figured out works for me is when in the cleaning process, not like every day kind of deal, but in the cleaning process, because I had this pile of crap. 20 boxes, like you're talking about. 20 minimum 20.
Right.
And so much garbage, so much scrap copper. Holy crap! How many pieces of scrap copper in the bottom of your freaking cardboard boxes, right? And so what I did is I took my pack out organizers and I just pulled them off the truck because I knew they needed restocked. Every one of them I felt like could use more stuff put in it. That also gives you an opportunity to realize what you do and don't have. So if you got to make an order and you're not like, oh crap, I should have ordered this the last time I ordered stuff kind of deal.
Right.
But I set them all out. And then I started going through my boxes. What I did is I just it was like I was at the food bank. I'm just taking them like at the grocery store. I'm like, oh, here's a box. Oh, I got 3/4 inch press 90s. Well, here's my 3/4 inch press organizer just sitting there. And I just started, before I knew it, I'm putting all these fittings away that were in these bottoms of these boxes. And my organizers are all full, restocked. Right. I got this pile of freaking dilapidated cardboard boxes sitting there. And now I got to spend 20 minutes, breaking those down, but gladly, because now they're finally empty.
Yeah.
Without all the dust and gunk in the bottom of them.
I've been moving things out. One of the big things that I found here recently, you and I both have and still do use these Costco totes, right? Black bottom, yellow snap top. They're cheap. They're great storage source.
As long as they don't break, they seem to be pretty darn useful.
Here's the thing that I found. It's super convenient to put stuff in them.
Yes. Put the lid on.
Put it in the corner and forget that you got it.
Yes.
And so I've been working to get the stuff out of those. Right? Like some of it is like, okay, well, we're not going to, but going through it, and I've got a Apple Notes, right? Okay. That we use the Note app for Apple. I've got some of these things cataloged. Like there's a bin that's got, or one of those totes that's got miscellaneous trim items, right? So we went and did 25 shower remodels in the last 3 years, right?
Yeah.
I got 3 brass shower or polished nickel or brushed nickel shower arms. I've got a brushed nickel shower head, and it's stuff like that. And you're like, what do I just throw that in the scrap bin? Throw the head away?
Eventually you will. But
eventually I will. And so here's something I did a couple years ago with that, and I'm ready to do it again, is I garage saled a huge bin. The bin and everything. Here's plumbing parts.
Really?
Right? Yeah. I went in there and I had I had some wax rings.
Yeah.
That I was like, these have been on the truck. We've since transitioned to the better than wax.
Really?
Like that Fluid Master. Yep. Freaking love them.
That's another episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
I'm gonna make a video about how wax is better than those.
Go for it.
And
you'll be wrong.
Like it. Hey, I could agree with you that those non-wax rings are better, but then we both be wrong.
Nah, that's not true.
I don't even have an opinion on it. I don't even have an opinion on it.
I know you don't. Yeah, I know.
I do still just use wax. I tried using them, but I was like, I don't know. I do so few toilets. I'm like, I don't know. Wax is fine.
And so therein, okay. Another subject.
Yeah.
anyway, so I've taken like going around the shop where I'm like, I've got this stuff, here's, some weird off-brand flex connectors, right? Lab flex connectors, or whatever.
At the end of the year,
And
there's just so
so
much of it.
2 years ago, I put all this stuff in a box in one of those big totes,
Okay.
and I put it in our garage sale. Like $12, $15, something like that. Just had a number on it. It didn't matter. I couldn't care less if I got a nickel for it, right?
Okay.
Some guy comes up and he's like, "Oh my gosh, really? Like this is way more than $12 worth." And I'm like, "Okay,
2 of those supply
Great.
tubes are $12.
right." And he's like, I'll take the whole box." And I'm like, "Perfect." Guy went away. I don't even care what he does with it, right? Like to me, I'm going to throw it away.
Yeah.
Right? Because what am I going to do with 16 brushed nickel shower gels?
I have shower trim, like partial boxes of Delta shower trims from like 2010.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got to hold on to those babies.
Yeah, because I might need that handle.
Well,
no, you're not
never
going to need that.
Except for if I ever did, I'm not going to remember that I have them in the first place. So they're not going to be on my van, and I'm going to be 30 miles away.
So we were a month ago, 2 months ago, we were cleaning the guys all came out. Everybody, we had a shop day, right? So it was nice out. I mean, it was gorgeous out. It was like mid-February. Shop door was up, 55 degrees out. Everybody was just kind of cleaning their vans, cleaning cabs, straightening things up.
Shirts are coming off. Got Kenny
Loggins sun's out, guns out.
Yeah. Yep. Kenny Loggins playing in the back. Then a sand volleyball game broke out. It was crazy.
I know. Yep. And I'm digging through the container and I'm like, what's in that tote? And so Tristan and I are kind of working on the container a little bit. And I'm like, hey, let's grab that one. We drag this thing out. I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. And it was that.
Wait, what?
They were partial shower trims.
Oh, and you just saved
a whole tote full of them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
You know what
garbage
you need from shower trims? Nothing. You know what you need are the parts that you're not going to end up saving. You need the little adapters for the handle and stuff. That stuff's not always used. It's never left over. It's never not used. Yeah. You have the shower heads and the arms and the escutcheon because you used like a hand shower or something, right?
Yeah.
That's how you end up with this.
Yeah, you put a slide bar on instead of.
Yep. And in place of the you don't need that kind of stuff.
No.
You know what you need? You need replacement cartridges for Delta PosiTemp, that's mowing. Thermostatic Delta cartridges that don't cost $60. Yep. That's what you need a box of, right?
Here's
Jesus, these things are freaking expensive.
Yeah. Here's what I've got that I'm having a hard time with. Honeywell, what are they? RM 7800. Power burner controls. They're a combustion controller. Big blue box goes on a big boiler.
Universal combustion controller.
Great big, like a blue cube, right? Yeah. They're like $1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got 5 or 6 of them.
Why? Oh my God. That's so much money.
Right.
You didn't pay less
they're
than
they're not new
for any one of them.
No, they're not new. They're either were spares.
Oh,
they were switched out. Yeah, they came off of boilers that we swapped out.
Well,
right? Because I was like, here's where I'm at with it. And anybody that's listening, anybody that's listening to the podcast that gets into that realm of ignition controllers and things like that.
Yeah,
I am happy to send them to you for no monies. You help me with the shipping, whatever. Let's talk. DM me. I'll let you know what part numbers I have. I want these things gone.
You missed it. You could have said $100 a pop.
I could have said $500 a piece. At one point in time, I'm fairly certain the core charge on these controllers was like $400.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it's out there. So I've got several of them.
On today's episode of MTGA, Andy admits that he doesn't know how to make money.
I'm a hoarder.
I just part of my shop clean. How long has it been since you scrapped?
The kids and I did scrap before we went to Honduras.
That's right. I remember you talking about that. Have you brought it in though?
Yeah. Yep.
I brought mine in this week. and number
Yeah,
one
payday.
was $3.89.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. I was just like, what?
yeah, baby.
Well, because I was dropping off a couple water heaters I
Yeah.
had sitting around the shop that had magically not made it their way out of
Sure.
here. I think my biggest pet peeve is old water heater tanks. Like, I don't
Yeah.
ever keep them. In fact, usually before I even get back to my shop, I've dropped that thing off at Lake State. That's my local recycling place, and I'll drop by Lake State. Like, I'll go out of my way to get rid of a water heater, and I don't pull off the copper and stuff half the time. Like, I don't care. Like, I do care, but I don't even. They take it. They don't give me. They don't give me a dime for the thing. I don't care. It's out of my life. That's the whole arrangement. Right. They give me without question the best pricing on scrap when I come in, because I come in organized. They want copper.
It's clean.
It's clean. It's cut apart. It's separated. Number one, number two, brass. I don't do the red and yellow, but I just do brass.
I don't either.
And I'm in a manageable sizes too, so never bigger than a 5-gallon bucket usually. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And
premium.
yes, so they treat me very well. They give me $1 or $2, whatever the going rate is for like the cast iron, but it feels like I'm bringing less and less of those in lately anyway, which is fine with me. I brought the copper in. That was nice. I told you this though, right? I told you the metal cutting circ saw for separating the copper.
Yeah.
100% worth going out and buying one if you're a plumber.
Really?
Yes. Yes. The
a
amount of copper I can cut in the same amount of time is twice.
Yeah.
Or more. It's so fast.
How's the mess? That's what I guess
it's not as bad as you think at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm not covered with it or anything. Like, it's not bad. I don't think it's bad. Is there dust on the floor, Yeah. But there is also with the bandsaw. And I'll be honest with you, you could cut probably 100 times more copper, maybe even more than that, with these carbide metal cutting blades than you ever could with any bandsaw blade.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For replace, like, there's no way. Like, I'll probably never have to replace the blade, just cutting apart copper and brass and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it. I say that I had a free metal cutting circ saw. I just never used it. And then I did. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? Like, what have you been doing, you idiot? So yeah, it's worth it. 100%.
Yeah.
The shop is clean. I was super happy about that. Washed the van. Now I was on a roll. I'm like, what? Which brings me up. It brings me to this question too for you, because I know we've talked about it in the past, but people want to know. They just like people, our audience. They truly, truly like to hear what we're doing in our businesses and stuff. And this, this is not nothing here. You got guys working for you. We've brought it up in the past, but cleaning the van. Yep. What's your take on that? Because a lot of people, don't talk to their boss about it, or their boss just assumes they're going to wash the van, stuff like that, that drive them home and whatnot. Do you give your guys a certain amount of time in a week, like you pay them for it or anything like that? I mean, it's not like it takes a long time, but it's, if I'm not getting paid, I guess, it's not top of my list of things I want to do.
Yep. I've got I'm going to preface this with saying I've got a solid crew right now. Yeah. And they're all very, very aware of how their vans are kept.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And they're also, and I thank them all for it. They're very aware of, what it means to have clean vehicles.
What it means to you,
both mentally, the company image, what the customer sees, and how nice it is to not go walking out to your grubby vehicle that's out in the parking lot.
Yeah.
It
is hard sometimes to work out of a messy vehicle. Yeah. It's hard.
Yep. Sometimes it's hard to do with the roads. I mean, the road salt, and we sand our roads here and gravel them. So they're typically in the winter, they're mud, so we got tons and tons of mud. And, so I mean, the way we handle it, we don't have any high roof, drive-through car washes, which sucks. So everything's manual wash. A lot of times on like my van, I've got, water here in the shop. And if the weather's not too cold, When I pull up at night, I'll hose the thing off before I pull it in the garage or in the shop.
Okay.
For the guys, that's a little harder. I don't say, hey, you need to wash your van every morning. It's
No.
22 below zero, but make sure you wash your van.
But
if it's a sunny afternoon, you got time, hit the car wash if you want,
And you're paying for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll pay, we pay their time, whatever, just like anything. It's not their van, right? It's not but it's part of their responsibility, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is to keep that vehicle looking presentable.
Well, it seems so basic, and it seems like a lot of people listening would be like, yeah, it's just common sense. But I talked to my former boss about this one time, and he's like, it's just built into how we operate. We know that they need to be washed because it's maintenance. He's like, he even told me at the time, he's like, I wish people would wash them more often. I would pay more money for it. Some guys are doing it in their driveway, whatever. He always paid you. Like if you just put a half hour on your time card or something like that, he's like, never questioned, like never once questioned it. Because for half hour, even if you did 100 times, it's still cheaper than paint repair or just having a poor impression. You know what I mean? Like that was a big thing for him. And so that's how I've taken away from on my own, just realizing like how important it is and what it takes how little it takes just to have that clean vehicle. And like, I'm so much better off because I'm so ADD. Like if my van is messy, I have such a hard time.
I have a bad attitude.
I do too. It's
like jump in the back and I'm like stepping over stuff. I'm just like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
But the other twist of that is right now I had a box of stuff that I came across last night in the shop that I'm like, oh, this is some random tools, right?
Okay.
Odd stuff that was on my other van that I had not yet put onto the new van. Now, one, that tells me that I probably don't need it.
Your box of handled tools.
And all the handled tools made it. That was transferred very early on. Handled tools.
Oh, you're not going to live that down.
No, but like, I mean, so here's one of the tools that's in there that I was like, I don't know why this isn't on my van. My Navac flaring tool. Yeah. I'm like, why is this not on my van? So there's that.
You haven't been doing the mini splits and stuff.
Yeah. I had I've got like an 18 and a 24-inch sheet metal bending form.
Okay.
That I normally keep on the van. I don't know why they weren't on there, but I was looking for them here like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but how often do you need that though?
I don't. Well, now, so that's the thing is I've shifted again. It was funny because Miles and I were talking about this the other day. He's like, well, what do you keep on your van on? I don't remember what it was for press fittings or something like how many of each? And I was like, I don't even know what I have for press fittings because I said, to be honest, I come out, my press tool rarely leaves the van, right?
Okay.
My hand tools will leave. I'll take those in.
Okay.
If we're doing a boiler replacement, it's really common for me to grab my hand tools, and that's the only thing that comes off my van because my guys already have all their stuff, and we're using parts off the job trailer, parts off their van.
Yourself.
Right. I mean, I do, but not on that capacity.
No, I'm saying like for the boiler job, like the whole replacement. It's not these days. And for a while, it's been that you aren't typically doing that on your own. You're there with one of your guys.
Exactly.
The two of you are teaming up on it. Yeah, no, I get it. It's time. I was even looking at, was looking at the outside. I'm like, I should plant a tree over there by the shop, kind of.
Yeah. Maybe a little apple tree.
Well, whoa. Now you're talking. I wasn't even thinking about fruit trees.
Jeez.
How long does it take to grow a fruit tree to the point where like it'll start producing?
I think
fruit?
5 years, 4 years, depends on the soil.
Oh well, my soil sucks.
Yeah, you're on a gravel bot, like a gravel pit.
Yeah,
in the bottom of a gravel pit.
I am. I'm like in the bottom of a gravel pit.
Yeah, pretty close.
Make fun of it. Okay, dude. We're at like 25 minutes. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop this time.
It's fine. Be that way.
I got to clean out a couple. I have a box in the back of my van. I do. I have a box in the back of my van right now. I should have taken your advice and taken 5 minutes, but I'm going to do that now. I'm going to take 5 minutes before I go to my job. I'm going to get rid of that box. It's going to be put away.
There you go.
I promise.
Put it away.
All right, dude.
Too.
What do people got to do to get a hold of us?
Well, you could slide into the DMs. You get Eric at Mechanical Hub. You can get me at Mick_Plum, or you can get us at maketradesgreatagain@gmail.com.
That's very cool. And you could also leave us a review on your podcast app. If it allows you to rate us, please do that.
Yep.
Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Let others know how to find us by giving us a review. We really do appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Yeah. And this came up a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
If you haven't sent us your playlist, I got to tell you, I've been kind of enjoying getting these Spotify playlists from people.
Well, Denver's was all country the other day.
Denver's 90s country. That was a jam and mix, man.
You guys,
I got one from Pat Cotto.
Okay.
As well.
Really?
Did you look into his? This is something weird. Now we're extending this episode a little. I don't know why this thought process never crossed my mind.
Get the words out.
That they don't listen to the same music that we do. And I don't know why that I just never had the concept. I never thought about it. And so he sends me this playlist. What do you
mean by that? The Australians?
Well, yeah. And so he sends me this playlist, and I'm looking at it. And I'm like,
music?
No. It's all it's the same, right? It's the same. It's just not the same artist. And I'm like, I've never heard of that artist. I've never heard of that artist. I'm like, who the heck is this?
Music? Oh, it's copyright
stuff.
No.
No. It's music, right? It's just not people that you've heard. They're Australians. I mean, why would they not have their own music, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm holding back right now because I want to say something like, that there's other music in the world.
No, 100%.
The Americans
100%.
didn't invent it, right?
It just never dawned on me. I've listened to German rock bands and other music from and I'm not saying that it's all a didgeridoo, that's not what I'm saying. But
good day.
But it's
they're like,
yeah, right.
Put another shrimp on the bobby, bobby.
It's not that. But I like I say, I'm scrolling through his playlist. I'm like, who does Patrick listen to? And I'm like scrolling. I'm like, I don't know.
Men at work, right?
Who is this?
The deep cut Men at Work, because we only know 2 of their songs. Oh,
geez. Anyway, so
all right, dude.
Thanks for that.
I love it.
Send them.
Send the playlists, and if they don't include some Green Day, I'm not gonna listen to them.
That's right.
I'm just kidding.
All right, fine.
I'll talk to you.
All right, see ya.